Welcome to the Brothers Chatter, where we're going to talk about how
Maybe.
Columbus was the devil. Is the NFC East the best division again in the NFL?
No.
Don't hold your breath.
And rap music may be on trial again. Welcome to the Brothers Chatter, where we discuss our ideas to do a hot tub stream, but I try to convince these guys why we should all be in the nude.
You don't have to convince me.
Yeah, we just can't go on YouTube.
I just don't want it
I
to
think that's more Pornhub.com.
I just don't want
Underwater.
I just don't want it to get dark in there.
Yeah, I still think that's not going to fly on YouTube. I think we'll have to definitely go to Pornhub.com.
That's
Which
cool.
I'm okay with. Might make money.
We might.
Or OnlyFans. I think you can do OnlyFans.
You won't put me in no hot tub. I come out there and it might be coffee when I get out.
What?
Craig, if you're not willing to do it, then the idea is shot because
What
you'd be the one.
Are you trying to say
can.
you're wearing brown paint and you're actually white?
No.
I mean, that would make sense.
Craig can't do it anyway, bro.
I never
Because
said
we're in a
I
hot
never
tub
said
and
no.
his
I never
fucking
said no.
long wiener comes. It's like a rope. I'm not trying to get saved. I don't want that shit to wrap around me.
It's the pool noodle.
Yeah, bro. I don't want to get confused on a fucking
McDermott, let me
pool
save you.
noodle or a wiener.
McDermott, let me save you from eternal damnation.
Craig, that
One way
wiener
you
is
can
probably
wrap
the
it
biggest fucking thing. Craig probably got at least a 8-9 inches off.
Yeah, we're going to need
100%.
4 small white wieners. We're probably going to need Dickin for that one then.
Well, I was gonna say, if you're saying that we're gonna need 4 wieners to equal out his, then I shouldn't be in your equation
Probably not.
because I'm gonna give you like a centimeter worth of measurements. Actually, you don't. You're just gonna have balls floating around. Yo, me and Craig's shit combined is gonna be like a buoy. He's gonna have like the little rope. He can probably wrap his dick to like an inner tube, and I'm gonna be like the flotation for it.
You've seen
My
Anaconda,
balls.
so that's basically what it would be like.
Stop, Kevin. You
I
probably
like
got a small one.
Anaconda don't want none.
Tim, do you
So-
have gel in your hair, or are you just fucking like dirty?
It's a little bit of dirt, sweat, water,
BC.
Okay.
all that stuff. All right. Yo, get on the camera. All right, so anyway, we are going to briefly talk about Columbus. You know, Monday was Columbus Day, or what's known as now Indigenous Peoples Day.
Racist.
Yeah, the federal holiday has been under scrutiny for many years due to concerns about what the true story was behind Christopher Columbus's arrival to the Americas.
No one will ever.
Exactly.
It's
That's a valid point.
it's nothing but massive assumption at this point.
I'm
Yeah,
just
I
going to
mean,
put it
we
out
had-
there and say nobody fucking cares about this day.
I don't.
Nobody cares. Nobody celebrates this day.
Whoa,
I
whoa,
still got- I
whoa,
still
Who
gotta
celebrates Columbus
I
Day?
still
And
gotta
what
work.
do you
If
do?
it gives me a
Whoa.
day off
Whoa.
work, then I don't
Whoa.
acknowledge it.
whoa, whoa.
What do you celebrate for it?
I was actually gonna get hyped on it if I got work off, but I work in a federal fucking place
Right.
and on a federal holiday, and I didn't get off, but fucking Mr. State Boy down here got the day off. So you know what? I'm on the fuck Christopher Columbus.
Thank you.
You know, fuck him. I wish his boat would have sank and he would have got ate by a fucking sunfish.
I mean, I'm
That thing
not
would've
against
been-
your comment.
I think that thing would have been resting in peace next to the Titanic.
I'm just saying, like, fuck Christopher Columbus, fuck Columbus Day, or whatever day they decide to do, because nobody celebrates this day ever.
Nobody here. Well,
You
McDermott got gypped out of a day off because of it.
You can't
That's
tell
about
me
that.
anybody's having any type of like family picnic. Yeah, it's
No.
Columbus Day. Let's go have a picnic.
It's
Nobody's
not, a
having
big,
a
it's,
picnic.
it's not a big enough holiday in America to give a shit. It's
Yeah.
not the
They-
4th of
Nobody
July.
cares.
It's not Thanksgiving. It's not New Year's Eve. Nobody gives a shit.
Yo, there's probably like white families that eat like buffalo and like corn like the Indians used to
What
do, and like
families
they
are
probably like
these?
they
In what
probably like
part of the
lay in
country?
like they probably lay in like Source blankets and shit for the day, just to like relive like how. Wait, was Pocahontas the one that followed Columbus around?
No,
No.
she followed Lewis and Clark.
It's funny that you mentioned that because that kind of is why I brought this up, is because there's so many discrepancies and so many myths out there about all this. So basically, one of the big things is that the claims have arisen really over the years that basically Columbus came to the Americas and committed genocide and enslaved the indigenous people. As we know, these claims have been circulating for many, many years. And events surrounding some of the racial disparities in the last, 5, 6 years seem to stir up the outrage amongst many different communities. As we know, statues have been torn down. Once again, as a wide variety of people basically are believing that Christopher Columbus was a homicidal maniac, basically. One of the first truths is that Christopher Columbus never really set foot in North America. Basically, he was down in the Caribbean, down there where Cuba, Jamaica, and, a lot of those.
Well, they're not Indians. They're Mexican.
Well, Mexico wasn't a thing at the time. The Spanish had just started to come over. You have to remember Columbus was part of Spain. So these weren't Mexican. So yes, there
Spaniards.
were Indians, indigenous people. I mean, you had your North American indigenous, and then you had your Caribs.
So
or
hold
your- on.
History lesson.
So let me see if I'm getting this story straight. So forward. Like I know Columbus is a fucking retard and
Yep.
he completely missed his landing, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I get that he Malaysian airline the fuck out of his boat trip. He disappeared and hit somewhere else. Okay. So are you telling me Mexicans are Indians? They're just south of the border
Yeah.
Indians?
Yes, to some degree, but they're also the Spanish.
So well, that's what I'm saying. Like some of the Indians that were like in the trees and the forest and the grasslands were like, hey, fuck this. This shit kind of get cold.
That
Let's
was-
move down
No,
south
those were.
and follow some of the buffalo. And then they just stayed there. Now instead of like, oh, they're Indians too, they just like we just call them like Pablo.
Number
and
one,
shit.
I don't think they
Oh,
followed
shit.
the buffalo. I think the buffalo stayed put.
No, the buffalo migrated, bro.
Yeah, they roamed. Remember?
Yeah.
I don't think they
bro.
roamed to
Was there
Mexico.
invincible fences around the fucking states?
I don't think they
You
roamed to
dickhead?
Mexico.
The
But
buffalo will
anyway,
The
no,
buffalo-
I
so
think
to answer your
I don't.
question,
I think
Mexico wasn't a thing at the time.
The buffalo will kick your
it was.
ass.
Yeah, it was like, all right, Mexico's not a thing. All those Central America countries, they were not a thing. It was just land. And
No, I
you
get
had
that. I get
indigenous.
that.
Get the word Indian out of your head. It's indigenous people. Like that's what they were.
I get that.
Lately, the word Indian nowadays is considered racist, which I don't see the big deal.
Well, I think Indian comes from indigenous. I think that's where the term comes from.
So Mexicans are Indian. Okay.
Okay, but not.
Part, yeah, part.
Yeah, the people who
But
were on that land were indigenous, were Indians, whatever.
Yeah, indigenous is another way of saying native, like native to that land. Like they'd migrated there, I guess, thousands of years ago. As humans were evolving. All right. So, but that's one of the first truths is the fact that this is where you can see you're on the map, wherever the heck I'm pointing at here.
Yeah, sure.
That's where Christopher Columbus was at. So on several different trips. Not even in North America, which is where many people believe. The other myth, which is probably the biggest one that causes the most outrage, was that he came here and committed genocide upon arriving in the New World, where there's many written documentation, like from journal entries and things like that, showing that the relations between the indigenous people and the Spanish was actually mostly peaceful. Yes, you had two different peoples coming together. There was dispute at times, quite frankly, from both sides. There were probably some cruel people, among the Europeans that came over, but Columbus was actually known for punishing his own men. In fact, he had actually had a couple of them executed if they ever abused any native people. There's journal entries of that.
I mean, to be fair, you can't really blame the indigenous people for even like having a discrepancy. Like you're coming onto our land. This is our land. What are you doing here? What's your intention?
They're gonna defend themselves.
I
What are we doing
would
if
have
this happened,
fucking
though?
take a tomahawk.
So
to
a visitor comes to see you and it's okay to attack them?
I'm not saying attack them. I'm gonna be
it's not
like,
cool to
I'm
come
gonna
in-
be weary, and I'm gonna be like, oh,
So-
what's
It's not
going on my
Scary is
land?
one
It's
thing.
not cool to come and start shit and try to take my property or land.
Right. What if the opposite happened?
That's not what happened.
What if the
That's not
indigenous
what
came
happened.
to their land? What do you think would have happened? I guarantee you they would have killed them. Yeah.
They
White people are fucking
No.
nuts. They're crazy.
It's just true.
It's
well, I
spam.
don't disagree with that,
I'm just saying.
but that's not what happened. They didn't come here and try to take their land. They were trying to go around the world to get to China. didn't know that the Americas were here. So they didn't come with the purpose of taking anybody's land. They landed here thinking they were in China, and then obviously very quickly realized they were not.
How did they know they weren't?
Because China, what they weren't in China. They had been to China. So China was part of the known world at the time, but the longest trade routes had to do with going down through the Mediterranean Sea, down around India, and up, around that way by boat. Columbus was trying to find a quicker way, so that's why he went west, thinking that if he went across the Atlantic Ocean, he would land in China. Didn't know there was a whole nother continent there with a whole nother big ass ocean on the other side.
Did he know that Africa was there? I mean, it wouldn't have been so hard to go down south around Africa.
Well, I mean, you also have to remember this is back in the early 1400s. I don't know as far as Africa. I mean, Africa was discoverable at the time. That everything else in the world other than the Americas was known at this time. Everything else.
We're going off a fucking journal entry. Like, bro, I could go buy a fucking old looking book, write some fucking old English in there, get that shit dirty, leave it buried in the yard for like a couple days, pull it out and be like, oh my god, look what I found.
No, I mean, to be fair, like, I think they do like carbon testing on that shit to see how old stuff is.
Yeah, I'll fake that shit.
You can't fake carbon testing.
Bet.
That it's like a buildup of all the carbon that or whatever is done.
I'll just buy a whole bunch of carbon on Amazon and fucking store it in a fucking block together. Amazon got everything, bro.
Bro, I hate whoever your science teacher was.
So the big thing was with this is the fact is that many think that basically the Europeans, there was some bad people among them, that the Europeans came over here and just started killing people. That is not what happened. For the most part, they got along. Just like any other peoples in the world did at that time, they didn't always get along. But for the most part, it was mostly peaceful. The one thing that is true, that there were a lot of people that died, and that had to do with the inadvertent transmission of communicable diseases. And that was actually transmitted both ways. The natives had diseases that they transmitted to the Europeans and vice versa. So a lot of people died. Of course, people died back then. I mean, remember the Black Plague, right?
Mm-hmm.
Killed a lot of people.
You know they were fucking the shit out of each other.
I'm sure they probably were.
STDs like a motherfucker running rampant. Everybody's crotch was on fire.
Speaking of which,
that shit later in porn.
Speaking of which, did you know?
Get a porn, okay.
Always. But did you know that the whole powdered white wig thing of that? Well, I guess it wasn't really partly during that time, but really.
I know. It was for lice.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was part lice. It was a lot of it STDs. Men got was it chlamydia? It caused whatever it is, whichever one it was, it caused their hair spots. So a lot of George Washington, all those guys who wore the powdered white wigs, they were just around fucking people all the time, and their hair fell out. That's why they wore those. They had STDs.
Wait, well, we know George Washington did.
Washington did.
A couple of the presidents did. I'm pretty sure
Washington did. Madison did.
Jefferson probably.
And Jefferson.
I think Ben Franklin. I think that was his real hair.
He wasn't a president.
Balding on top. Yeah, I'm not talking just presidents.
He was just scientist, you dickhead.
Among other things.
He was a scientist.
He was the first he was the first Potomac Edison employer.
Jesus. I'm done. Potomac
What,
Edison
bro?
employer.
The last part on Columbus, and we'll get off of it. The last myth, there is some truth to it. That yes, there were some indigenous people who were taken as slaves by the Europeans.
Shucks us up.
There's no denying that. The one thing is, and this is not aside from Christopher Columbus, this is one thing that no one ever really wants to talk about in history, is that unfortunately throughout human history, in all civilizations, slavery has been a thing. In all cultures, people have enslaved others, including others even within their own civilization. Speaking even back in like the 1800s, the slaves that came to America, it wasn't just Europeans coming to Africa and just like grabbing people
No, they're
off the shorelines or out.
sold.
No, by their own people.
Yes. Yeah. Because
Not everybody knows that.
they got bitched. It was, these guys are fucking worthless. They're not helping our tribe, so we're just gonna fucking sell them. That's what they did.
Yeah, I don't know what the whole thing was, or if it had anything to do with money or food or whatnot. But yeah, it's slavery in general is a fucked up and evil thing. But people tend to forget that everybody has enslaved everybody at one point.
I
and
enslaved McDermott.
I can tell.
We have a video of it.
Oh,
McDermott
Christopher
enjoys
Columbus.
his freedom.
Why are you telling people to?
We haven't released it yet.
Ah, okay,
Not yet.
gotcha. My bad.
Eventually.
TMZ will get it pretty soon.
I hope not. That's not meant for TMZ.
So what are they like? What would Indian slaves do, bro? Like make quilts and shit?
Make quilts.
That was really racist, what you just said.
Husk corn.
They made maize.
Why?
No, what the
How
fuck
was that racist, bro? That's what they were good at, making quilts, arrows,
Maize.
Arrows. Yeah.
huge fires, and peace pipes
Maize.
and teepees.
Maize.
How's that racist, bro? I'm giving them credit.
They
for
were
this
very.
shit.
Yeah, they were very good with leather.
And riding horses.
Leather.
They were the first like hippie pussies on the planet.
Hippie pussies. Wow.
I'm not wrong though. Tell me I'm wrong.
We're gonna make him a T-shirt
I
that
love
just
the
says
way your
hippie
brain works.
pussies.
Tell me I'm wrong though. Hippies are like save the trees and we
Smoke
love
weed.
everything, eat everything, and the Indians are like, yeah, bro, we ate hearts, tongues, everything, hooves. We literally fucked trees.
Bro, they were the original potheads.
Pretty much.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty
but
much.
They were
they're
smoking
hippies.
that
That's what I
shit
said. They're
left
fucking hippies.
and right, and then thought that spirits were coming in and talking to them. And shit.
I will say that their long hair looks better than our nasty white people.
I
long
mean,
hair.
I fuck with their long hair. I think it's cool,
Wait a minute.
They're so majestic when they ride the horses too.
right? While they're shooting an arrow at
That's why they
your
got
face.
that. They got Indian hair.
And yo, hippie names and Indian names are like the same. It's like Littlefoot, Tree Hugger. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's like they're saying fucking. You got Sunshine and Littlefoot. Like it's like yo,
Littlefoot was a dinosaur.
Squatting.
and it was named as fucking some Indians had.
Squatting.
Littlefoot.
Squatting
Squatting.
dog. Squatting dog.
Yeah, squatting dogs.
I'm telling you, bro. Linked.
Horse
They need to
man.
hire me to figure out the evolution period because I'm linking shit left and right.
Beardandbeefy@gmail.com.
Facts,
Hook 'em up.
Hashtag ad.
facts.
So, jumping into a little bit of football discussion.
Ooh.
The NFL's NFC East division may be
Cowboys,
back at the
at least.
top of the ranks. I don't know. You got Philadelphia Flying Eagles at undefeated 5-0. They're
Yeah.
an undefeated team right now, right?
They haven't played anybody.
Listen, just take the
That's not what I said.
first three and then knock the last one off. You cannot
We're
be
gonna
part
get
of this
into-
discussion when you
We're
throw
gonna
for
get-
99 passing yards by your quarterback.
That's why we're.
Yeah, but
Fuck outta
Carson
here.
Wentz is
Do me a favor,
undefeated
hold on to that
thought.
Do me a favor, Danny. Hold on to that thought for a minute. 'Cause we're gonna talk about the whatever the hell the name of that team is.
Ron Rivera just said what everyone else wanted to say.
Oh yeah, trust me, we're gonna get to that.
No, they need to kick Dan Snyder's ass the hell
Right.
out of Washington.
But we all then you have, as much as I hate to admit it, you got the Dallas Cowboys sitting at 4-1, and the New York Football Giants sitting at 4-1.
New
as
Jersey.
Cooper Clutch is better.
New Jersey.
I'm telling you what, I think there might be a QB dispute whenever Dak Prescott comes back. I'm
Oh,
just saying.
there's
No.
going to be one. There's going to be
there's
one
not,
because the Cowboys are not stupid to start a.
Jerry Jones is not going to pay a quarterback all that money and not have him
That quarterback,
start.
he's not even doing anything.
No,
It's their defense.
Yeah, I
Doesn't
mean, yeah,
matter.
they have one
He's
of the
right,
number one
it is
defenses,
the
but
D.
bro, he's
DeMarcus Lawrence,
he's
come on.
undefeated as a starter. So, like, how can you go against that? I'm just saying.
Because he's not actually doing it. I
Cooper-
hate the Cowboys. I hope that they make the wrong decision and leave
They
him in.
will.
Oh, they
They'll
will.
make it
They
good.
will. They will.
What do you mean? He's
I
not?
don't think they will.
I mean, CeeDee Lamb's still, popping off big numbers and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Micah Parsons is still a truck.
I mean,
But, no.
Zeke still sucks. But
No, Zeke sucked ever since his rookie year.
I don't know about his rookie year, but he hasn't been the same Zeke the last couple of years.
Ever since his
Even when he
rookie-
gets a first down, well, let's put it this way: when he gets a first down, there ain't no more of the.
That's stupid
Apparently I'm
shit.
hungry.
All right, bro, you're right.
No, he's lucky to get he's lucky to get 10 yards anymore.
All right, bro. Hey, you're right. Against the Rams, who they beat, I mean, he only threw for 102 yards, but he did not throw an interception. So
Bro,
he's not giving up the ball.
Time out, bro. I am getting sick and fucking tired. The past 2 weeks, bro. Everybody's like, "Oh, this guy only throws for 170. This guy only throws for." So what if you're not? We got so accustomed to fucking Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees,
I'm out, but you didn't say
fucking
you
Peyton
didn't hear my
Manning,
second part.
fucking Tom Brady. But hold on, let me finish my rant first. We got so used to these guys throwing a couple hundred yards game. Pat Mahomes, like, bro, that is not like they're a balanced football team.
I know.
Him
I'm
throwing for
not
100
disagreeing
yards
with you.
and 0 interceptions is exactly what the fuck you want him to do.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Tannehill, if he doesn't throw a fucking interception, he only throws for
Coming from a
128.
Titans fan who knows nothing about 300-yard games.
Here's the biggest stat.
Who?
Tannehill's
had that in his career.
Here's the biggest stat. In 3 games, plus 1 game that he didn't start, but he came in for Dak, he has not thrown an interception yet. He has not given up the ball yet. So you have that great defense plus a
mediocre run game.
A decent run game. I mean, Zeke's past his prime, but Pollard, it's a
Pollard
good.
Pollard's picking up steam.
But
Pollard is picking up steam.
Right, but it's a good 1-2 punch. When Pollard gets tired, throw Zeke in. And
I was
they're
gonna say
not
you should
giving
actually
up
flip
the
flop
ball.
the starting roles. You should put Zeke in Pollard's situation and let Pollard start the game.
Yeah, and they're not giving up,
You ask me, I think Zeke's getting lazy running the ball anymore. He can barely get 10 yards as we speak.
He got his money, bro. He don't give a fuck no more. That's
Right.
what
No,
happened.
there are football players who get paid and they're still trucks. Zeke, you're just declining.
Hey,
every
I was gonna
single
say he got
fucking
paid.
year.
Injury started, and he said, "Fuck it."
And I don't know. I mean, I don't know who's on their offensive line, but I don't think they're as good as they were when he was at the top. But I don't think that their offensive line is that bad either, to be honest.
Bro,
I'm telling you,
ever since
you-
Rush started, they have not had 1 fumble lost or 1 interception. They're not giving up the ball, and they have a great defense, and they're scoring touchdowns. So.
Cooper Rush
If
and
I'm
Andre-
Dak Prescott, I'm not even worried though because you're paying this man $30 million, but you can't just fucking get rid of him or you owe him money, so you're sticking with Dak
Yep.
unless somebody makes a trade. And right now in the NFL, the only other team that needs a quarterback that bad is the fucking Washington, whatever the fuck their last name is.
Commandos.
All those called the Commandos.
I don't
got
know.
it.
You are not, and Jerry Jones is after the Dan Snyder making the comment about Jerry Jones and shit. Sorry, Tim, if I jumped ahead on you, I won't speak on that. But
No, you're good.
the
I didn't have
Cowboys
that part.
are not going to give one to an in-division rival. 2, the situation going on with those two right now.
Yeah.
So it looks like Dak said is saying when he comes back, because he's due back in what, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
3 weeks?
yeah.
Well,
They
they're
said,
saying
he-
he's
they
not-
said I think he'll be in uniform tomorrow, but they
he's
said
not
there's-
playing
he's
tomorrow.
like beyond emergency situation.
McCarthy said he's in regeneration mode, whatever the fuck that means.
The
Basically,
fuck?
that's what McCarthy said.
McCarthy's
McCarthy's
a
a
fucking
fucking
idiot.
big
Dak-
dumb idiot.
Dak
Yeah.
said
McCarthy's a fucking moron.
Dak said he was ready for this week, but they wanted to give him another week. So he'll probably start next week.
Who they play?
But if
Cowboys?
if he doesn't,
Yeah.
Philly tomorrow night in
no,
Philly.
That's
no,
why.
next week.
Oh, next week. I thought you were
Um,
talking. I think it is.
I didn't
that?
realize they played each other. I know the Giants
next
got
week
the
is week 7.
No, this week, like Sunday, right now.
Philly.
six.
They play in
They play Philly tonight.
In Philly tomorrow night.
Sunday
in,
night.
in Philly.
They're gonna let Dak would be playing this fucking game, but they're putting Cooper Rush out there, right? Hear me out.
I know.
And because they know they're gonna probably get smoked, and then that way they can be like, see, Cooper Rushes and all that, and then Dak's gonna come back and they can put Dak back in that starting role without Cowboys fans saying, yeah, what the fuck?
Well, that sets
Now
it up
if-
even more. Your point.
Now, if
is-
Cooper Rush goes out there and they win this
They
game
beat
tomorrow,
Then
Philadelphia.
Dallas has a problem.
well,
If
it
that
could go
happens.
either.
Yeah.
It
If
could go
Dallas, if
either
that
way.
happens, Dallas has a problem.
It could go either way because it's in Philly and it's the Sunday night game, so it's prime time.
It'll be a
I'm
good
sorry.
game.
I'm telling you this: Philly is going to lose this game.
by a
They
lot,
look good.
by
They
a lot or
haven't.
barely.
They have not.
I don't
By a
think
lot
it'll
or
be about
barely.
a
I
lot.
think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be close. but they haven't played like Dallas's defense is there. They haven't really played anybody that I'm impressed like that they're winning like that. You know what I mean?
Not to cut you off, you just said that that Philly doesn't play anybody that you've been impressed with. Is that what you just said, or is that Dallas?
Yeah.
Because I do agree. Because I do agree, Philly, they have not played anybody. I told that to Danny tonight. Philly, don't give them their props. Give them their run.
Maybe.
Well, they beat everyone.
They crushed Minnesota.
Yeah, but Minnesota is one of those 50-50 teams.
Especially,
it all depends.
It depends on what day you get Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, just keep him off at prime time, and he'll go to the Super Bowl. I mean, he'll lose it, but
don't air the Super Bowl. Just do a recording of it.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not dogging Philadelphia, but as far as I'm concerned, Philly, they have not played.
See, here's the thing. I think they're going to lose, and I think Cooper Rush is going to look bad against Philly because they got Detroit next week. They're going to put Dak in. He's going to look amazing against Detroit. Don't sleep on
Detroit.
I don't sleep on Detroit.
Don't sleep on Detroit.
Or Detroit comes out and whoops that ass.
But here's the thing. All right, Detroit, they've actually been scoring lot of points.
I was going to say, they were, as of until last week, going into last week, they were the leading offense in the National Football League.
Right, which is crazy.
Their defense is probably near the bottom,
but Dallas's defense is like what, top 3, if not the top. So
top 5 for sure.
Marcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons, that defense is strong.
So I mean, we'll see. Because Jared Goff, like he sucks under pressure.
Jared Goff sucks. Period.
I mean, they're the top offense in the league. How do you say that?
All right, that's enough about the Cowgirls. Nobody gives a fuck about them anyway.
You're just mad because
nobody gives a fuck about the Giants either.
You guys
haven't played no one either.
Bro.
Right, you guys haven't played anyone either.
Hold on. Listen. Giants were projected to lose last week by 10. They were being favored 10 points in London against Green Bay. And granted, I know Green Bay's probably not that good, but Green Bay's still, Aaron Rodgers still Aaron Rodgers. All right. However, the Giants were so happy. One of their cornerbacks, Darnay Holmes, couldn't wait to get to the locker room and settle, and handle his business. He had to take matters into his own hands, or better yet, someone else's.
Yeah, bro, what the fuck is up with your team? I saw this shit and I said, no, they're cheating. They're having their coaches beat off their players. So, I mean, they're all going happy. Hey, you score a touchdown or you get a pick, you get your dick beat. What the fuck is wrong with your team, Tim?
Is it weird that I jerked off at the same time he was getting jerked off? Be like, yeah, I'm a football player now.
Bro, like in the stands, they were literally like, "Yo, your ass is out, bro. Put that shit away."
Well, dude, this is
Craig. Is that what your ass looks like, Craig?
What?
Is that your butt right there? Is that what it looks like? All thick and shit.
I think his is more like.
My butt's always been. Well, my butt's always been thick. So, I mean, if you want me to, I can whip it out and I'll let you judge.
So, apparently, he was getting his
hamstring probably.
His hamstring massage. Now,
but from that camera angle,
yeah, it looked pretty bad. I mean, I get like if there's a pad here on top of your quad there, that I understand why you would have to take it inside, off. But did you really have to pull your pants halfway down?
No.
Why wasn't he in the medical tent?
Yeah,
medical tent.
Any other time they would have put that damn blue tent.
No, that's not even my question. Why are you sticking your hand down that man's pants to rub his thigh? Take the pad out and do it over top of his fucking pants.
No matter. I mean,
well, it could be those new girdles though. That's all part. Like you don't.
Yeah, a lot of the girdles are built in.
Them girdles are tight too.
It's not like the pad we had when we played. It's like part of your girdle. Like it's what your underwear is.
That fucking trainer has no pride. Like if you have to massage a man's fucking thigh.
That's how much he loves that
motherfucker. Do you know what they make to fucking be the trainer?
I understand
that guy has a fucking wiener injury. I'm gonna suck the fuck out that fucking thing for what they get paid.
Them trainers get 6 figures. Okay, they're not just chumps on that sideline. Their guys are getting paid. And I know it's 6 figures
forever now. Forever, that guy is gonna be memed and looks like a bitch for the rest of his life now.
Fine, I'm making 6 figures looking like a bitch. That's an NFL pro fucking receiver.
As a Giants fan,
watching me do it on TV, motherfucker.
Yeah, Tim, be proud of being a Giants fan after that.
Exactly. In my mind, he helped us win that game right there.
I'm with you, Tim.
Okay, so what you say? All right, so basically, you're gonna jerk off to the Ravens tomorrow, and that's gonna have you beat them by 20 points tomorrow.
Hey man, whatever it takes to get the win. I might.
Hey, Tim, why don't you just show up at the stadium and be like, "Yo, I'm for rubbing thighs. I'm down. Put me in, coach."
Well, let's keep in mind this was in London, so they don't know no different anyway. So if it was the States, we'd be. I'm just saying that London.
It is crazy though that Deshaun Watson got a 12-game suspension for that.
Pretty much the exact same thing.
And
but
weird.
Deshaun Watson asked for it. That coach was willing. I mean, I feel like
I'm sure those girls were willing too.
Well, they might have been.
Nice.
They're not going to
I
do
feel
it
like that
unless they
Holmes guy
were.
was sitting there, and that trainer came over and was like, "Hey, man, can I jerk you off?"
I don't even know who the fuck Holmes is. I'm not gonna lie.
The game was in,
I think he's like a third stringer.
the game was in, the game was in London. They don't know no different.
What are you trying to say about the United Kingdom there, Craig?
I think he's trying to say that they're dumb as fuck.
We discussed this with the Queen. None of us are keen on England here.
Right,
so.
but I still think that they don't walk around with their asses out and think it's like, oh yeah, that's normal.
Jerk each other off. They might. So going back to what you guys started to talk about, the other team in the NFC East there, they changed their name. They're the Tacoma Red Leaders.
That makes sense.
The Washington Tea Party.
I'm just going with whatever I feel like at this point. Yeah, I like the Tacoma Red Leaders. They're currently the only team in the division with more than one loss.
They're still the Redskins to me. I'm sorry.
They always will be. But head coach Ron Rivera isn't very happy about their record. And when asked about why other teams in the division are doing so well, he simply made a short statement. And I just realized before I did that, you guys probably won't be able to hear it. He literally just said, quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's right.
And him.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't done the best coaching either.
No.
And to be fair, he fucked up some play calls that game also. Why are you throwing the ball in that situation?
He needs to go back to defense. I mean, let's just be honest.
He just needs to go back to fucking being bedridden.
I mean, he was a good defensive coordinator, but like...
No, he's done. He's been shit.
He's right about the quarterback.
Coach.
He's right about the quarterback.
He's not the
You
worst.
brought him in.
He's not the worst coach. I wouldn't call him the worst coach ever.
I mean, what other options did he have?
I will say,
not him.
Well,
it was Heineke. Who was the guy that everybody in Washington loved last year? You know what? At this point in time, you know Carson Wentz is some fucking shit. Indianapolis didn't even want his ass, and they didn't have a fucking quarterback.
Alex Smith
said,
even
you know
came
what?
out. I mean, Alex Smith came out and said, like, you know, I'm going to say that because Alex Smith was like, you know, he has had a career of ups and downs. But he said.
So was Alex Smith.
Alex Smith got screwed, but that's another for another topic. But anyway, he was like, you know, he's had a career of ups and downs. He's not been the most consistent, but he knows football. He's a good football-minded player.
Yes.
But if you're the coach, and you want to like win games and get your fan base sold on your quarterback, you don't go to the media and say out loud, our problem is the quarterback. Because it's not just the quarterback, it's the whole
fucking team.
Other than your running game. The running game is actually pretty good.
Wasn't he like at the first 2 or 3 games, wasn't he the leading passer in fucking the NFL?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
He was putting up over three. He was putting up several games where he was throwing over 300 plus yards.
It was after week 2.
It was just this latest game here where he looked like absolute dog shit.
But that's what I'm saying. So you're going to go to quarterback, and to me, if I'm a Washington fan, I'm hurting because now if you're already to the stage this early in the season that we're now blaming people on fucking news conferences for the loss, you're done. And you're done. You're done.
You're 2-3, right?
2-4. Washington's 2-4.
All right, but they still at least have 2 wins. They're not the worst team in the league right now.
They're not the Texans or the Steelers. But I'm not close. I'm not close. McDermott, I know what you're saying about Carson Wentz. I'm not ready to close the book on him yet.
No.
I'm not ready to close. I mean, honestly, when it comes the whole Carson Wentz thing, honestly, if you really ask me, yeah, the way he's been playing, I'm not going to put all the blame on how Washington looks all on Wentz. The reason, if you want my opinion, what the real problem is with Washington, it's Dan Snyder.
Agreed.
Yes.
It's Dan fucking Snyder. I've never Washington. And like you said, McDermott, if you're a Washington fan, you're hurting. Dude, if you're a Washington fan, you've been hurting for the last 25 years.
Put it this way. Who was the last franchise quarterback that they had? franchise, and I mean
RG3.
what I mean by franchise
RG3.
quarterback. I don't even know. He was only there 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Haloti
I
Ngata.
mean-
Who was with
franchise.
Clinton Portis? Who was that? The white boy they had with Clinton Portis?
I thought McNabb was there
They had
Kirk Cousins.
They drafted Kirk Cousins
No,
the same year
it
they
was
drafted RG3.
before that because they had.
Let me look, bro. Let me look because I'm telling you who.
Mark Brunell.
Mark Rippon.
Mark Brunell. Mark
Oh
Brunell.
yeah, they did have Brunell. for a couple years.
Rippon was
Is that who you're
90s.
talking about? Because
I know, I was joking.
Oh.
Because the only other quarterback I know off the top of my head would be Jason Campbell, and he was cheeks.
Yeah, but they ran with him for a couple
So-
years.
They had no choice but to run with him.
They
because there
had
was nobody
Jason
else left in
Campbell
the
for
league.
3,
was
Joe
worth it.
Theismann from 76 to 85.
And he won them a Super Bowl.
76 85. What about Rippon? How long was he there?
Rippon was only good for a couple
Hold
years.
on, Sammy Ball was before that. He was 37 to 52.
Ooh, that's a long time ago.
Let me look. Let me get down like to
I'm gonna-
actually like the 2000s.
They
So
had
Brad Johnson,
They had McNabb.
Ooh.
Do you remember Brad?
but
Johnson?
he was replaced. Tony Banks, Shane Matthews, Patrick Ramsey was 2003, but then he got replaced by Mark Brunell. That might be who I'm thinking about.
Yeah, it
I
was
was saying because I think
Brunell.
that
Was Mark Brunell, because Mark Brunell lasted 3 years, and then Jason Campbell
How long
came
Jason
in for 3 years.
All right, how
So
many
the-
years did
Oh,
Rippon?
D. McNabb. D. McNabb was there for
McNabb, I
1
mentioned
year.
McNabb.
Yeah, he was only there 1 year. How many years did Rippon go?
He was there for at least I think 5 or 6 years.
Who?
He was with
Rippon was-
he was with Washington
There's
when
no ripping
he
here.
was
Mark-
he was with Washington when they won the Super Bowl
Yeah,
against
when they won the
90s.
Super Bowl, but he only lasted another
Oh,
year.
90s.
He wasn't
Mark
there.
Rippon was
Washington won the Super Bowl.
1,
in
2, 3, 4,
92.
5. 5 years.
He was their last longest tenured.
But I think towards the
Nuh-uh.
end, shit.
No, he wasn't.
He
I
was-
literally just told you.
No,
Fucking
after
that guy.
after,
Oh.
after Rippon, there was no one there more than 3 years as their quarterback. So who was that guy that you said in the 80s?
Theismann.
Theismann.
So that was their last
75 is on the-
franchise quarterback. And I don't know how many years Dan Snyder's owned the team, but you need to
I think he
go.
bought the team in
It's
2000.
90s.
I'll say because
90s or 2000s.
I was gonna
the,
say-
what's his face died. Yen
It's-
Ken
it's
Cook or whatever.
Jack
Ken
Kent.
was.
Horrible draft.
Well,
pick.
here's where they fucked up, bro. And I will say this: I actually am an RG3 fan because I think his announcing is fucking amazing, bro.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
funny.
fucking
Can,
love
can we
his-
get RG3 over Tony Romo, please? Because honestly, he
He
makes,
doesn't.
I like Tony Romo.
Oh,
I
don't
like
start
Tony
this
Romo too,
shit.
but like
He
RG3
sucks.
is
Fuck him.
funny.
RG3
but
is good.
RG3 and Tony Romo together.
No, RG3 by itself.
Facts.
Fuck Romo. Get
That would
get
be
that
nice.
fucker the hell out of here.
This
Romo
is where
sucks
Washington
monkey
fucked
dick.
up. Is RG3 at Baylor solid? Not gonna argue that solid. Kirk Cousins is still in this fucking league today. RG3 is not. You drafted both quarterbacks because they're like, oh shit, we were able to get both of them. They picked the wrong one. That's where Washington went downhill. If Kirk Cousins is still there, granted, Kirk Cousins isn't like a great dude, but he's not bad. Like that Washington football team has pieces that if they had that Kirk Cousins, they're competing.
Cousins
Washington-
reminds me a lot of Stafford. He reminds me a lot of Stafford,
Yeah,
which with other pieces
Eli Manning.
can win you games.
I put Cousins in that line with Eli Manning, Stafford.
Yeah.
Fuck, even Jared Goff to an extent.
They're going to throw a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns. They're going to throw a good bit of picks.
and they're gonna play and they're gonna make dumb decisions.
Yes.
Big
But
Ben.
They have
if
a
you
good
have-
defense and an okay or decent run game, they
I
can
agree.
win games.
I agree.
The thing with Washington, honestly, it's over the last couple. This is over 20 years, ever basically since Dan Snyder bought the team.
Yeah.
I'll give Dan Snyder credit. He's not afraid to get his checkbook out to pay these, especially with some of these free agencies. Some of them worked, and some of them really blew ass when it comes to the free agency. Biggest one, Hainsworth. But honestly,
Yeah.
Washington, I've never seen.
He fucked up when he
Washington-
let Trent Williams go.
Washington is a snake bit franchise anymore. They really are.
They
And
are the
they're-
Jets.
Here's the problem though.
Washington is snake bit.
Here's the problem is teams are nowadays every team thinks they're competing. you know what, Washington, if they would just say this is a rebuild year, let Carson Wentz finish it out, because fuck it, you're not going anywhere anyway. You're not winning it all.
Start from
Let
fresh.
him finish it out, see what he does. Scout around. You have a couple decent, or not decent, but good quarterbacks coming up in this draft. But they're not willing to do that because Dan Snyder thinks they're a fucking competing football team. Tennessee is still a competing football team, and our owners came out at the beginning of the year and said, after we traded AJ Brown, a little after the draft, they said, "Hey guys, fan base, this is a rebuilding year for us. We'll probably make the playoffs, but like we're not thinking Super Bowl. We're thinking rebuild. Let's see the pieces we have and what we need to work with."
Tennessee, Tennessee has a stronger core than what Washington. I mean, Tennessee, you're being honest with your fans. Washington, it's basically you're telling us one thing, and then you're coming around next week saying another.
How many years did they sign Wentz for?
I think it was a 3-year deal.
Was it 3?
Probably something.
Okay, so you keep him around.
3 years seems to be the trend.
If they
you're not keeping him now. You blew that.
Well, if they draft a quarterback, I let him sit behind Wentz, because like he's a smart football guy. He knows what to do. It's just in decision making.
That's I say
Wentz's problem though is he doesn't want to sit. He was offered that in fucking Philly.
Yeah,
and he said no, I'm a starter. That's Wentz's problem. Is Wentz is now to the point where he has to start thinking, okay, I blew my job in Philly, which wasn't all him. Philly jumped the gun. But okay, Philly, I think was ready to move on from him.
Yeah,
because they realized this guy, he's not going to get it done. I don't know why they thought Jalen Hurts was that guy, but I will give Wentz that Philly kind of fucked him over. He went to Indy, didn't work out in Indy. I'm sorry that you can't defend him in Indy. I mean, I know their offensive line was like shitty, but you had Jonathan Taylor, you had decent receivers still around you. The defense wasn't awful, and you still blew dick. Now you're coming here to Washington, and after week 6, now your coach is saying, quarterback. At this point in time, if I'm Carson Wentz, I'm not sitting on the bench for that team either. I'm done. Get me the fuck out of here. There's still a couple teams that will take him.
I'm saying with the back to what you said about Wentz. I'm not, like I said, he did put up the year that they won the Super Bowl. Wentz was he got them to the Super Bowl. That's why I say I'm not done on this guy yet. He's tough when it comes to it. The man was putting up an MVP season when yes he did. Yes he was. Yes he was. The year the Eagles went to the Super Bowl before he got hurt. He was putting up MVP numbers before he got hurt. He went down scoring a touchdown. He is tough. Yes.
Was that his second year there?
I believe so. Second or third, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think it was his rookie. It was his second
they still won the Super Bowl, correct?
2017 Eagles Super Bowl run where he threw for almost 3,300 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions, finishing third in MVP voting.
Okay, all right, I'll give it to him.
He was putting up MVP numbers. That's why I say don't close the book on this man just yet.
Time out. So
but that was 2017. He hasn't done shit since then.
He didn't play in that Super Bowl, and they still won with Nick Foles. So right there, it wasn't just Wentz that the reason why that team was so good.
Well, he
does have a point there.
Solid though.
Yeah,
it's not like you went from Carson Wentz to Tommy Batch. You know, it's like or Charlie Batch. It's not like you went from fucking, you know, you still went to a guy who was starting in the NFL elsewhere also.
Yeah.
So it's not like you took the L. I'm gonna have to disagree with Craig on that though, because I think that was 2017. It's been a couple years and he hasn't done shit
since he hurt his back.
With an injury like that, you're never the same.
Ever since
it happened to RG3 when he went down, when Haloti Nada almost ate his leg, and he never was the same.
And it sucks.
RG3 knew to call it quits.
Yeah, and it sucks. It really does. But when that happens in your life, that's why you go to college. That's why you have a backup plan. That's why a lot of these people end up becoming announcers, even if their career is cut short. I mean,
or they suck on the mic.
At some point, Carson Wentz needs to realize, all right, that injury really has fucked up my career. I'm never going to be what I was, and either decide I'm going to be a backup quarterback, a decent backup quarterback, a good one, or Move on to something else.
I'm giving him one more year, honestly. Give him that much at least, and then if it's no
We may
good,
have
it's no
found-
good.
We may have found something
I'm not
else
quitting on
for
him yet.
Carson Wentz. I don't think he has to quit. All right. So
Kind of hard on
He's
After-
it's a snake bitten
Hold on.
franchise.
hold on. Let me go. I don't think he's done yet. All right. After Ron Rivera's comments about the quarterback, that's when Dan Snyder, the Washington Generals head coach, came in and apologized afterwards. Dan Snyder came in and saw that publicity out there and said that it wasn't Ron Rivera that chose Carson Wentz, it was him. Of course, then when asked about the comment after their Thursday night win over the Clemson Bears, Rivera, did you notice their uniforms? They look like Clemson.
They do look like
Yeah.
Clemson. They
That's
do.
a, like alternate or whatever, throwback,
They
whatever it
did,
is.
Yeah.
dude. They did look like Clemson.
Yeah, I fuck with it though.
I liked it.
I
But
like-
Rivera got really
It's old
outraged
school.
and kind of ended up storming off the stage and during the interview and whatnot. I don't think he should be all that upset. I think the man actually might be a genius because I think Carson Wentz days as a quarterback might be coming to an end. But his job as a starting fullback is well intact. Did you see his block?
No.
I saw the block. Yes.
Midway through the fourth quarter,
Yes.
down by 7, Wentz and the high-flying Boy Scouts were hoping to hit pay dirt. Carson Wentz laid out all-pro linebacker Roquan Smith
Knocked
on
his
a running
ass
play
down.
to the outside.
Knocked his ass down. Boom!
Boom!
A big man
He
who just got knocked, who
laid
knocked his ass down.
That man.
Because Roquan
Ow.
Smith did not see it coming. If he saw it coming, Roquan Smith would.
What do you mean he was looking at him?
Dude,
He will light that boy up. I wish he would
Wentz
become
just
a fullback.
he just knocked his ass flat. He just knocked him flat on his ass.
Take Wentz's dick out of your mouth.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Anybody who's ever played for the Eagles, Craig is gonna.
No.
I bet you because of Donovan McNabb loving fucking that Campbell's like chunky soup. That's all
No,
is in
that-
Craig's pantry.
the Campbell soup, no. Stay away from that shit. That has nothing to do with an Eagles fan. If you notice that chunky soup, that damn soup kills careers.
It was worse than
It
Madden
does.
curse.
It does. It
was.
does kill careers.
Facts.
It
Facts.
does.
Yeah, because look
It
at what
kills
happened to
careers.
Terrell Davis.
That's why they don't even make the commercial anymore.
Exactly.
Him, McNabb, didn't T.O. do it?
No, T.O. didn't do it. No.
I can't remember who was the last person who did it and didn't.
Baker Mayfield.
Wasn't it?
No, Mayfield does.
Was it Ray?
Nah, yeah,
he
it
does
was.
that in
Oh, it was Suggs. Suggs did it because he had his
Yeah.
mom on there, and he didn't. Or no, he did
This
get
is
hurt.
Terrell Suggs' mom.
He did. There was somebody who did it and didn't get hurt though, and I can't remember who it was. Or no, maybe that was the Madden curse.
I'd rather
Yeah,
have.
Derrick Henry did. Derrick Henry, I think, was on it, but didn't get hurt that year.
I'd rather deal with the Madden curse than the chunky soup because chunky
Yeah,
soup.
because Vince
kills
Young was
careers.
on it, and then wanted to kill himself the very next year.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's what he gets for yelling about that dream team bullshit when he was in Philly.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm done with Carson Wentz. I would appreciate Carson Wentz if he realized, like RG3 did, I'm no longer a starter. Let me just go right behind Lamar Jackson in Baltimore and let's have some fun, and then call it quits after he's done doing that. Carson Wentz, you've had multiple years. You've had 4 seasons since 2017 to make yourself good again. You've had 4 seasons to recover. You're not doing it. Ron Rivera, you're a fucking bitch for what you did also. Both of you guys fucking suck. Maybe we'll get lucky and Russia will miss the White House and they'll take out the fucking Commander Stadium.
The whole Commanders,
Is that the name of their team?
the whole Commanders organization needs to be taken out. Period. Dan Snyder is the problem. I'm like Carson. My final thing, Carson Wentz. Like I said, I'm not done with you yet, but dude, like Tim, like you said, your days are coming to a fucking end. You need to, wherever you end up, you need to show up and you need to show out because it's your ass come next season, regardless if you get anything. So the Commanders, Dan Snyder, you're the problem. They need to get his ass the hell out of Washington because honestly, you want to talk about an organization that needs a fresh start, it's this organization.
But it's hard to get owners.
Dan Snyder, I'm sure if the owners had the balls to vote him
No,
out.
Dan Snyder is an owner though. One of the owners. You can't. That's what I'm saying. You just can't take away a piece of what he owns.
The NFL owners can vote him out.
Should.
The NFL owners can vote him out.
Well, if that was a thing, they would have voted Jerry Jones out a long time ago.
No, they actually can vote him out.
Vote
but
him
the
out.
problem is somebody has to take over.
Weird.
Well, he sells it at that point. Yeah.
He would be forced to sell it, but I guarantee,
tell Walmart to buy it.
I guarantee whoever would buy the organization, that would be the best thing for Washington. The city of Frostburg still has death threats out on Dan Snyder ever since he took the training camp out of since he took their training camp out of there.
Disney buys everything. Why not let them buy it?
I have a solution.
Dan Snyder needs to go.
If you are the relative of the pilot who flew the We Are Marshall airplane, or the pilot who flew
airplane,
or the pilot who flew Kobe Bryant's helicopter, any relative to that has their license, can you fly the Washington football team at some time and maybe you get lost in the fog, you hit the mountain, or however the Marshall plane went down.
You're a Titans fan, and that's some Washington hate, man. You might be a borderline cowboy.
When you see Marshall on TV and you're like, oh, I'll watch this game. It's We Are Marshall. Is that what you say? We Are Marshall?
Yes, to be fair, I thought it was We Are Marshall.
You thought the name of the university was We Are Marshall?
I thought it was We Are Marshall, the Fighting Herd.
It's just Marshall.
Yeah.
Hey, to end this
I just thought that we didn't put the We Are because it would be like WAM on like the initials, like Wham. You're like, what the fuck is Wham?
That's what they say when they like to pump up the crowds. Like, We Are Marshall.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Hey, to end this out, little fact check, real quick. So there was two players that
Dan Snyder's the problem. He's got to go.
That avoided the. Bro, calm down. I had to pull Wentz's dick out of his mouth. Two players avoided the chunky suit.
Here, wipe it off for him. There you go.
Two players avoided the chunky suit curse. John Lynch, and Tomlinson. The worst one was probably Roethlisberger, who the day after he shot his commercial went headfirst into a car on his motorcycle.
Oh yeah.
Bettis, he didn't suffer any major injuries, but he never recovered afterwards. McNabb, high ankle sprain. Terrell Davis and Kurt Warner were the first two. And
we all know Terrell Davis.
Terrell Davis hurt his knee, and then Warner suffered injuries, missing the better part of 2 seasons. And then Urlacher and Strahan also, because they ended the 2004 season on injured reserve.
Oh, okay, because I don't remember any big injuries to Strahan, but maybe he just had something.
Injury was going on. The talk show put up with Kella Ripa's ugly ass.
His gap.
So Lynch and Tomlinson sold their soul to the devil. That's all it is.
Awesome. So moving on to the next topic. Apparently, rap music may be on trial, or maybe not. California becomes the first state. California becomes the first state to restrict the use of rap lyrics in a criminal proceeding, hoping that others will be following soon. Of course, prosecutors argue that lyrics sometimes contain open confessions, while critics argue that evidence targets people of color. Lyrics are typically figurative, but do glorify crime and violence. The claims are also out there that no other music genre gets the same type of treatment, and points to racial injustice.
That's because you don't have a country singer going, I just shot my homeboy down by the creek. We were 30-pack deep.
While raping my dogs.
Tim, McDermott, you know firsthand that, like, part of that is true. Like, you know, what we do in our jobs, or Tim, you did, and McDermott, you did in your jobs. Like, you know, some of them walk around rapping a certain thing. There's a message in it.
And they all sound stupid.
There 100%. Is.
And if you're smart and you pay attention, you know what's going on.
But for me, it's like, all right, the shit that got Bobby Shmurda in trouble, right?
Yeah, I was looking up one earlier.
You have committed a fucking murder or a crime or whatever, and you're talking about it. All right, yeah, that's not. They can't arrest you off that alone. But the problem is when they're like, "Oh, did you hear Bobby Shmurda talking about this?" And they start looking into it, then they're like evidence to prove that like you did that. Like I don't think they're using the lyrics as like a confession. but they're basing off your lyrics into the investigation. When they find hard evidence, or you really did what you just fucking rapped about because you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
If you're gonna rap about it, just make sure there's no like Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg's never went to jail for that shit. I'm sure Snoop Dogg got hella bodies on him.
Because
Motherfucker be crip walking over corpses and shit. Like,
well, and that's what irritates me because people just immediately jump to, oh, we're locking up people of color because of their rap lyrics. We're just targeting them. The police are not simply arresting you because you rapped about doing something. They're already looking at this person, and then they also happen to rap about it. This is one thing I kind of look at. I know they keep claiming that it's racial injustice or that it's racist to do this because, unfortunately, most individuals who sing rap or hip hop are typically people of color. But couldn't you argue that it's just as racist to not pursue it, considering the victims of those crimes are typically people of color as well? I'm just saying. I mean, it's racist no matter how you look at it.
It's a double-edged sword, basically. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
If it wasn't that big of a deal when you're trying to hide something, they wouldn't make that big of a deal about it.
There are rappers that stupid who think I'm looking tough with this. No, you just look like a fucking idiot. Yeah,
basically in the long run, no matter what the other states choose to do, prosecutors will still attempt to use lyrics as a way to kind of build up their case, but only after they already use or have the hard evidence that they need. The lyrics are just going to come in and back it up anyway, which is what they already do. There is nobody who's currently locked up just because of their rap lyric.
No, you're right.
And if you look back,
a prosecutor will use anything against you too, not just on top of it. They're some diabolical motherfuckers.
You look back at Tupac, Biggie. I mean, I know they're dead and shit, but like Snoop Dogg, your gangster rappers back in the day, DMX, 50 Cent, like, bro, 50 Cent in his movie fucking talks about how they killed that dude, and we're in shootouts and shit. But you know what? There was never no hard evidence to put that motherfucker behind bars for the shit he was talking about. Same as Snoop Dogg and all this. They're not dumb. The problem is these are the dumb fucking street boys now that are making it in the rap world. Like, motherfucker, you're dumb as fuck. If you have evidence of a crime on you, don't sing about it.
I know. You're sitting over there with all this money and with all this popularity, and you're singing. It's that stupid thug ghetto mentality. You know what's good? You know what's positive about that shit? Not a goddamn thing. It just makes you look like you said, don't rap about it. You got millions of dollars in the bank. You got all these fans, and you're throwing it away because you want to be some gangster thug dumbass. Go right ahead. I'm gonna.
I like that music, but it's like when
they sell themselves.
Bro, when Bobby Smurder's fucking I can't say the name on there. Craig can, but I can't. But when his shit came out, bro. I'm not allowed to say that the name of that song there is racially injustice for me to say that. I have a quarter black kid, but anyway,
half.
I thought we give him a pass, but
no, he's a quarter.
No, you have to wait. You have to wait till Christmas Eve.
She's mixed.
Oh, I see where you're going with that.
Okay.
Chris Rock said you have to wait till Christmas Eve to say it.
Or you just slap him. But anyway.
Bro, I love that song. But you know what? He was a fucking idiot and got caught.
He was.
Because you just caught a body about a week ago. Now the cops are like, oh, yeah, we're trying to figure out who did that body. Now you just kind of gave us more insight. Thanks, bro.
They're like, yeah, thanks a lot.
We knew it was somebody in your fucking crew, but thanks, bud. You just gave us the names.
You just sold yourself out, you fucking moron.
If I'm a cop in like New York or LA, bro, I'm putting my feet up and just listening to rap music all day.
Because as soon as you hear something out of the ordinary, you're gonna be like, okay, I heard something out of him. Let's get the warrant to the judge. We're locking his ass up.
Tekashi 6ix9ine just snitched on somebody in this song lyric.
6ix9ine.
But to be fair, he actually got snitched on anyway. And to be fair, I would have did the same shit he did, bro. Like, he wasn't originally a snitch, but then when you find out that people in your own fucking gang are fucking your baby mom and snitching on you anyway, hey, bro, I'm riding like a motherfucker. I don't blame that motherfucker, because then he came out and he started throwing the money around with his little fucking house arrest bracelet on, saying I came out with millions. He said I'm a rat, but I got millions.
You're about to get locked up with millions.
No, he's good. He's good. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. No, don't worry.
For now, he's probably
don't get his ass sooner or later.
Did you see the Key and Peele skit? It was from back in like 2015, which is about just this here. one's interrogating the other. The one's kind of dressed up like Ice Cube from when he was on NWA, and it's like he's a cop and he's interviewing him and he's like, no, that wasn't me. But yet then he plays the rap lyrics from a song and it's literally saying that, yeah, this is me and I did this on this and such date. And then he brings up, nah, man, I couldn't have done that. I had an alibi. I was at the Red Lobster. And then the cop then plays the lyrics. He's like, man, anybody who knows me knows I'm allergic to shellfish.
And the cops,
it was funny.
And the cop's like, you're full of shit.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Fucking Key and Peele, man.
Yeah, they are pretty good. But
I'm fucked up, man. I'm fucked up, man.
That is
caught a body about a week ago.
Speaking of which, that does remind me a little thing I wanted to bring up. So, the substitute teacher, Skip. What was the name of the character?
Peggy Hill.
What?
Peggy Hill.
No, what was his name in that skit that he did? Because he did two of them. Mr.
You guys watch him show more than I do.
I don't want it.
But anyway, so the question is because he mispronounces just common names to make them sound more, more culturally black.
Garvey.
Yeah, I knew it started with a G, Mr. Garvey. So for each of us, which I already know how he pronounces mine, Timothy. How would he pronounce your names?
Dan-I-L.
Dan-I-L. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about you?
I couldn't, like I said, I don't watch the show that much when it comes, so you guys can figure
T-Reg. T-Reg.
Quag.
Or C-Reg.
Quag.
T-Reg. Maybe.
I don't know.
What about you?
I have no fucking clue.
Etan.
I was gonna say Ed Han. Our name's Ed Han. Danielle. They just happened to pick the best ones to use in the skit that you could easily turn. But my favorite is still Aaron.
Aaron. Like some of the other names, I forget what they were. It was like
nice.
I just remember Aaron.
Yo, he like it was like the whitest people you could fucking find, and he blacked the fuck out of their names. Like the one was like he was like Shaquisha or something like that, but it was like bro, it was literally like Tyler or something like that. I don't know.
Or Oshak Hennessy, Principal Oshak Hennessy.
Hennessy's disgusting, by the way.
You mean Principal O'Shaughnessy? Get the hell out.
Shit's disgusting.
All right. Moving on to our next one.
Ooh.
It is time for us to recognize another injustice in this society.
Hold on. Why is it always men in bathing suits every fucking week?
What did I tell you last week? Man. We give him free run. Like
man.
You're giving me more Jeffrey Dahmer vibes every fucking week.
I was gonna say
we give him
some heterosexual bro love, man.
Tim, you look like you got a boner as soon as that picture popped up.
We give him the freedom, and he does what he wants. So
an instant.
And you know what? He's Jeffrey Dahmer in us, bro. Because he's making us watch his slides.
Oh.
Until we're done. We can't leave till he's done, bro. That's what I'm saying. You're Jeffrey Dahmer the fuck out of us.
Wow, that's true.
Anyway,
without eating me yet.
It's time that we recognize another injustice in this society.
Each of us.
No.
Why is there 3 white dudes and a black dude?
Yeah.
They're bros, man.
Why are there 3 of us and one of
What do you call us? What do you call us?
Funny coincidence. That is funny coincidence. I honestly didn't mean to.
I was gonna say, what do you call us? We're 3 white dudes and a black dude.
There's 3 of us and one of Craig, and there's 3 whites and 1 black, and that fucking
wow. You're trying to tell
and
us
he's on the end. He's in the back of the line too. That's fucked up.
What do you mean back? He's
Wait a minute.
You read left to right, motherfucker. You look left to right. Yep. That black dude is on the very right, bro. He's still in the back of that fucking line. No, that's fucked up, Tim. You're racist as shit.
Anyway, it is time for us to recognize another injustice in our society. Each of us needs to take accountability for our male privilege. which allows us to get away with damn near anything we want.
Fuck you mean?
I'm going to bring our attention to some examples of how easy your life has been.
What, each of us?
Because I'm a male.
As a male, all of us men, we need to take accountability for our male privilege.
I can't agree.
Oh,
to
enlighten me, pops.
Enlighten.
I don't have a right to an
Number
abortion.
one, you get to be careless with your money and not have people blame it on your gender.
No, that's wrong.
Facts.
That's the opposite.
Actually, people blame it on my drug habit. But next,
Or the truth behind it is probably blame more on your age or your generation.
or drug habit.
Number two, if you don't get a promotion, it isn't because of your gender.
I want to say gender. I would say maybe skin sometimes.
I didn't get a job at a federal facility because I wasn't a female. And
That's facts, though.
And the other candidate
That's facts.
was
That's
the
facts.
other candidate was a female.
It's mostly stupidity.
That they got. What do you mean? Man? All right, that's a social injustice. That's opposite what you're talking
Oh, for
about.
the male though, yeah, not for the female, for the male.
Or
Yeah.
the truth behind it, you either didn't earn it,
Oh, I
you
killed
didn't
that
interview
interview.
well,
No, I
or
killed
you're
that
still-
interview.
or you didn't kiss enough butt to get ahead.
Or I'm just not a female.
Facts.
Number three, you can walk alone at night without the fear of rape.
Jeffrey Dahmer disproved that theory.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Depp disproves that theory.
Yup.
I mean,
Or the truth behind it, you could still be mugged.
And I'll
but
fuck
not
you
raped.
up.
Number four, you can go on a date without on a date with a stranger without the fear of being raped.
No, I've been roofied before.
I
But
mean,
the truth,
But you don't know if you've been raped. You had the roofie. You just.
Well, I was roofied. I don't know what happened in the
that
sense
the
of
same
me
night?
roofing.
Is that the same night with the bottle?
No, I'm talking about like legit. Like I was roofied by a girl, and I have no idea what happened from there.
And you don't want to know, I bet.
Yeah, I don't think I was raped, but like you don't know because it's like.
but the
What are
truth
they gonna-
behind
Don't
it.
go
What are they gonna
wrestling
test my
Tina
dick?
because the next morning your anus will really hurt.
All right, what's the next one?
Well, the truth behind that one is you may not have to worry about being raped, but you have to worry about the baby trap. You know, especially if you.
Nice.
Oh,
Making the
yeah.
money.
Yeah,
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
And I know that you know
You
that
never-
I make good money.
You never accept a condom from a girl.
Nope,
You
never.
always bring your own.
Never. Never.
Never believe when they say they're on fucking birth control.
Or in McDermott's case, you use condoms actually, like you actually use them.
Facts.
My
Hey,
ex,
you stick to the big A, man.
my ex tried to give me one. I'm like, nope.
Anal.
I looked at that. I'm like, yep, you put holes in
Yeah.
this motherfucker.
Or go down the dirt road. Yeah.
No fucking way.
Number five, you can disregard your appearance without criticism at work or in social situations.
Wrong.
Facts.
We work. No. Wrong.
Facts.
Yeah, the truth behind that, most organizations have some type of dress code policy that also includes rules on grooming. And secondly, men don't typically prefer the makeup that women wear. Most men actually like the natural look. That way it shows what you really look like most of the time.
I encourage my associates
Unless
to
you're
wear
on a
makeup,
date with
actually.
them, then wear some makeup.
I encourage them to wear it.
Some makeup, the natural look.
Oh yeah. I don't want all
I
that
don't look
fucking. I don't.
on.
I encourage.
When I wake
my
up
people
in the morning, I want to
to-
know that you look still roughly the same as what you did last
Yeah, I don't
night.
need you to look like a female WWE wrestler.
I was going. I encourage my place on is I encourage them to
Craig.
wear makeup.
And body paint too. We know.
No.
Calm down.
I
know you want
look
that shit caked on.
Look presentable. I didn't want you coming out in
Well,
the sales
presentable
floor.
doesn't mean
I don't want you looking like a fucking sea donkey. Okay.
right. Okay, so like my wife, whenever she gets all dolled up and
Craig,
like
you're kind
her,
of proving the other side of this argument.
right, like whenever we go like out to eat or like to a wedding like this coming weekend,
Oh, is that coming up?
Congratulations,
Yeah,
by
so-
the
Yeah,
way.
fuck you, Tim.
we like
Congrats,
she'll
by
wear
the way.
makeup,
Up
but she wears
there?
the minimal. She don't get all like she don't fucking
I'm botching.
like throw all that shit on. She wears the minimal.
Well, yeah, I'm just.
she looks fucking fantastic.
The minimal's fine too.
What did I buy you?
Minimal's fine too.
What do you want?
Oh wait a
You
minute.
don't have to give me nothing, bro.
Yeah, I'm just showing
I wanna
up.
buy-
I
wanna buy
don't
you
expect shit, bro. Like I just want to get drunk.
Well, now I feel like I have to because you're not expecting
Anyway.
something.
McDermott, congratulations, by the way.
Thank you, Craig.
I'll give you a coupon for like a free hand hug.
I want the New York Giants rub down.
I'm not giving you that.
Hey, I gotta go to. You know.
He can work something out. He knows somebody.
Yeah. You guys just kind of proved the makeup thing, though. So that backfired.
Who?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean,
hey, can you guys please wear like Craig's over there? Hey,
I don't want you looking like a sea donkey. Whatever.
Can you really call it a sea donkey?
Can you wear makeup but don't ever do it? You sea donkey bitch.
You're gonna be you're gonna take over my TikTok character Les from my his less is more
no
segment.
shit. But wait a minute, don't count me in that one. Like I said, like the
I'm
natural.
talking to Craig.
There are certain-
No, I was talking about McDermott.
There are certain girls who don't need makeup and who are just naturally pretty.
No, but Marine also just said like about like wear it if you're going on a date. Though.
No,
so, like, you
no.
just like bro.
Nah,
But I like the natural look with the
Dang.
makeup. The natural look with the makeup, like
I'm not saying
where you put makeup on and it doesn't really look like you have.
I'm
it on.
not saying put on a ton of makeup, like you said. If it's only just like a regular, just like a little bit, like
So
I don't need any makeup. I'm good.
same with me. I'm beautiful.
You guys know. Well, black don't crack. Us white people have another issue, Craig. Okay, we look old and we all smoked in our life. All right. Anyway, you know that beards are actually considered makeup for men.
Please enlighten me on this one.
I swear to God. All right, think about
Where'd
it.
you hear that?
I mean, girls say you guys are on us for wearing makeup, but beards are makeup for men. Because look at me with the beard, right?
All right.
Now imagine me without the beard.
That is true. My wife
This beard makes
does
me.
not want me.
So are you saying?
That's
I
a
should?
good
So you're
point.
saying I shouldn't have cut all this off on my baby face? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not. If you haven't always rocked a
Which one would
beard,
you prefer?
but I've always had a beard since like I've always had something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How many
I've
times
had
have you seen me?
this-
How many times have you seen me with a beard?
Craig, you're on and off with all of that shit.
That's what I'm saying. So like, that's you. Like people
But-
see you, people don't. I've had a beard my entire life, pretty much, ever since it grew.
I can see where you're going with that. Like that makes sense because Ashley would like probably disown me if I shaved.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you're
Right.
secretly a fucking genius.
Thank you.
But
That's scary.
So I
Thank
should. So what you're saying?
so
I
that
should
makes
regrow-
them kind of like sexist though, right?
Facts.
Like,
So it's both ways then.
Right,
Double
because-
standard. which We talked about a
Facts.
couple episodes.
Facts.
Double standard.
double standard because like my wife would leave me if I
Facts.
shave
You
my
went baby
beard.
face.
But most days, I would say like probably 85% of the year, she doesn't wear makeup, and I think she's gorgeous without makeup.
Mhm.
She doesn't
natural-
need. She
She's
doesn't
naturally pretty.
exactly. She doesn't need
She's
it.
naturally pretty.
Some women.
But if I were to
Damn, Craig's
shave this,
moving in.
but if I were to shave
Shut the
this,
fuck up.
Facts. Exactly. Alexis already said she would get mad because I was like, yeah, I might say this for the wedding because I don't want to get hot. Like while I'm standing up there and sweating, she's like, you better fucking not. Or I'm not walking down that aisle. I was like,
I mean, I agree with her because like with me, I saw you without a beard.
yeah.
It's not. I mean,
I
you're the
don't
same
have
as
a
me.
chin.
I look
Well,
stupid.
if I
as
was-
fuck.
I
alright,
look like I have a chin.
If I was skinny, like if I was like high school me, I'd be fine without a
Yeah.
beard. Like, cause I would keep like a mustache or like a little, but fat motherfucker me without a beard, it would look like I would suck 8-year-old dick.
Yeah,
So
I'm the same. I started growing this as I started gaining a bunch of weight, which was like 2-3 years after I started at like DJS or whatever. Like I was babyface when I started. I mean, I would have a stubble, a little bit of stubble, but
and I actually like long hair because like my hair was like long. I could like pull it back however I wanted to do with it, let it be front and curly. But as a fat guy, I hate fat people that have long hair because you just
Yeah.
look dirty. Whether your hair is clean or not, you just look kind of dirty.
a white guy, white people,
Facts.
So basically, if you look like Trevor Lawrence, then you're just
but
another
fat,
motherfucker.
but
If he were
fat.
fat. If he was
But
fat.
fat, yeah.
I can picture him being fat.
I can't.
I just feel out of place now because all y'all got beards and I'm just babyface here. I don't know.
Don't you burn yourself last time.
You're gonna burn your hand. All right, we got two more.
Now pour the wax on yourself.
All right, go ahead.
Speaking of being fat, if you're not in shape, it won't affect your social or career potential.
Facts.
So you're saying that was a true one?
If you're
I
not in shape,
agree. Like,
it won't
It depends
affect
on the job.
it won't affect your career potential.
I mean, well, what, like, are you saying you want to go be A cop, because if I'm fucking this size, I can't pass the fitness test. It would, but
Or if
like,
I want to be in the military.
They would.
how you be
they
fat
would-
in the military?
No, you could be fat when you sign up. They're gonna get your fat ass in shape.
They're gonna. Mm-hmm.
If you go Air Force, bro, you only do like 20 jumping jacks and like a slight jaw. Like,
You still go through basic
Mhm.
training,
But
but
if you
but
go-
it's not
but if you go
hard
in-
though.
but if
It's
you go-
like
But if you go to the Marines, they're gonna whoop you.
by the time you're out of basic
they
training,
won't let
you're
you in the
skinny.
Marine, but
You're skinny again.
like if I went to the Marines, they would look at me and
Tim,
say,
they would let us
they
in.
they tell you
Nope.
get back on the bus.
They would let
Marine,
me.
you
No, they
Marine,
would
you
let me and
couldn't
Tim
go.
in. No, they would let me and Tim in just because of our
Marine,
name.
you don't have knees, bro.
No, I think they would.
They
Fuck,
wouldn't-
Mascots, bro, mascots.
McDermott,
They
they
wouldn't
tell,
let you
they
in.
would fuck with us because of our.
Exactly.
McDermott, they tell you get on the bus. They tell me get to the back of the bus.
Craig, I'll be back there with you, bro, because they would label the fat guy with the black guy. So I'm
Nah,
fucking with you in the back.
That one I think does depend on the job, though.
So, well, this one, the truth is, we're living in a world, where women are supposed to be happy in their skin, which is nothing wrong with that. Unfortunately, that same treatment doesn't always
Facts.
apply to men,
Facts.
knowing that they may need that same encouragement.
It's crazy that people like Lizzo and these fat sloppy bitches on TikTok can fucking walk around in stuff they should not be wearing.
There's nothing wrong with being
Yes.
a big woman and being proud of your body and that, but when you're walking around a 300-pound with your gut, the hamburger meat hanging out,
Well, I'm
and
cool
all
with that.
Hamburger meat.
If you
That's
think
what
you're
I'm
sexy,
called.
bro, and you want to rock that, bro, rock that
But
shit,
let
bitch.
me rock
But when
it
I'm
too.
at the fucking beach, and I'm out there laying on the fucking sand, I look like a fucking smushed down fucking whale. Don't you fucking giggle on my belly, bitch.
No, that's what
don't you fucking
agreeing with you.
stupid
he's
ass
talking about
bitches.
women.
Don't you stupid ass bitches fucking tell me that then your friend who's like fucking 250 and fucking she's so brave for wearing that and she's wearing a two-piece, she's so brave, and then I'm walking around with my shirt. Ooh, put a shirt on.
Well, maybe
Right.
if he was
Ooh, put a
skinny.
shirt on. Yeah, no,
The
fuck
fact-
you, bitch.
No.
Fuck you, bitch.
I agree with you on that, because honestly, if I like I said, I'm sitting there, oh, you look good, and I'm walking with my shirt off, and the girl will look at me like, ugh, you smell like French fries. Get out of my face.
Well, I mean, smell is a whole different thing. If you're smelling like
Craig,
French
they
fries,
wouldn't say French fries, Craig. They would say, ooh, you smell like Chester fried chicken.
Why's it gotta be fried chicken, you racist motherfucker?
Ooh, Craig, why do you
listen.
smell like watermelon?
You're gonna say watermelon.
I'm
Do
gonna
you
say,
have grape gum? Because it smells grapey.
I'm racist.
the fact that
You brought it up, bitch. I
the
smell.
fact that
I
the-
had a watermelon scent once, and it smelled magnificent.
anyway, it was probably body
Fuck
paint.
you.
The fact,
my issue-
no, hold on. The fact that Jesus, the fact that dad bod is a term offends me because that goes along with what McDermott's saying. Like, oh, like dad bod is a term because girls they don't want to say I like fat guys. I like guys with dad bods.
Yeah,
What
bitch,
qualifies as a
Bitch, what the
dad
fuck is a
bod?
dad bod?
What qualifies?
Because I'm a dad and I have a bod. But motherfucker, I look fucking fat.
Yeah, but I'm changing that term. I'm getting rid of the whole dad.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
I'm proud of my shit.
yeah.
Be proud. Be proud of yourself.
Also, I
Confidence.
respect Alexis because she doesn't call it a dad bod. She just says, I like fat guys.
Well, I respect that then. I respect that.
Yeah, she calls me fat. It's cool. And I say that she has a big fucking head.
There's nothing wrong with fat. There's not a damn thing wrong with fat people. Men, like what's that? Women. I've dated all the girls I've dated have been plus size girls.
I don't date fat girls.
And honestly, no. Everyone I've had, they've all been great. Especially in the bed. Especially
I
in
can't
bed.
because fat, like I fuck some fat girl, but like fat, I can't do it all the time because it's just a lot of fucking mass moving around. It's not good.
Hey, deal with it.
Making sounds that you shouldn't be making.
Hey, I've done it multiple. I've never had an issue with it. I never have. I mean, so what if it sounds like flapping?
You're black. It's in your nature to know what to do with that shit, bro. We don't know what to do with that shit.
Flapping.
Bro, I got so many racist jokes out tonight.
I'm still getting rid of that term dad bod.
Huh?
Why?
I'm getting rid of the term dad bod. Remember,
Why?
I'm changing it to father figure. Get it?
Well, it's the same thing as dad bod.
Well, no, that's a whole different porn, Tim. But I don't. They've already have that locked in, bro. You got to come with something else.
Father figure. Yeah.
You can be
father
a big,
figure. Yeah.
I like it because it has a double meaning.
scrap it.
There's some
I
criticism.
finally saw the trailer for this.
I mean, the trailer looks all right. Go ahead, Craig.
No. Go ahead and finish.
No, I was just going to say there's just been some slight criticism about the new Super Mario Brothers movie. We all love, Chris Pratt, but could they have at least tried to give him the stereotypical Italian dialect? Maybe it was intentional.
We're getting Italian.
Maybe.
They could have got. What if De Niro would have been?
Everything
Mario?
else about this movie, casting wise, made sense. Except Mario,
this.
your star character.
You see, he's playing Luigi.
Yeah, it's
Charlie Day.
Yeah, and that made sense.
But honestly, Charlie Day could have been Toadstool, in my opinion.
True, but
I think he would have been better there.
The person they got for Toadstool is actually not
Yeah,
bad.
the voice was pretty good.
But Seth Rogen's in this too. Who's he playing?
He is. It made sense. Oh my god.
I can see him playing Yoshi or somebody.
I was just saying Yoshi.
Yoshi don't talk.
No.
Maybe he does in this one. Yoshi.
I didn't know who Koopa was at first until I finally got a look at that.
It's Jack Black,
It's
right?
Jack Black. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm like, wow, that's Jack Black.
Yeah, you can make that work. So, while
Donkey Kong.
What?
okay,
Really?
yeah, that works.
Really?
That works.
It made sense.
Really?
That works.
Yeah.
So there is
Rogen
like,
is Donkey Kong.
Well, there is a slight cult following for the 1993 version.
Oh.
While it didn't
It's
do
a
all that
mixed
well.
bag on that.
While it didn't do all that well, at least the character who played Mario, Bob Hoskins, at least actually looked like Mario. It may not have sounded like him, but he did resemble him.
He had
I
a
was
New
gonna
York
say,
accent.
He's
so-
not. He had a New York accent, but keep in mind he's British. He's not Italian.
I love John Leguizamo too, but I mean,
I didn't
As
mind
Luigi or just in general?
I mean in general, but he's not. I don't know. He does have a weird voice.
the movie was just so damn awkward. That movie.
No, not awkward. Awful.
Awful.
was
Yeah.
It's one of the worst movies I've ever that's ever been made.
Not to split away from this real quick. Did you see John Leguizamo, the guy who's played Luigi, John Leguizamo? I saw in the trailer yesterday. He's playing a terrorist going after this family, and Santa Claus is the only one who can kind of.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's called Violent Night. It's basically.
It actually looks good, but anyway.
It looks stupid. It looks like it's corny as shit, but I do want to see it just because of how violent it looks.
It's Santa Claus and there's blood. I mean,
Mhm.
it's gonna be good. But anyway,
Yeah.
this movie is horrible. When you have what are the Goombas wear trench coats?
Yeah.
Bowser is fucking what's his name? Dennis Hopper.
That's Hopper.
Ugh. All right, you're good in speed, bud, but stay out of Mario. Come on.
You said what? What were the Koopas? What were they called?
They
again?
were wearing trench coats.
They were wearing trench coats, and they were the size of the '85 Bears.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they were.
Makes no sense at all. And
Yeah,
this new one is not going to either.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I would give it an opportunity. I was liking everything I saw with that trailer all the way until I heard Chris Pratt. I'm like,
Bring back the.
If that had been De Niro, I'd say I'm seeing it. If that had been, or if that had been Pacino, I'd have saw it.
Bring back the '90s
still watch
cartoon.
That was pretty bad too.
No, the '90s cartoon wasn't bad.
It did not receive very good
I liked it.
feedback when it was
Well,
out. I
we-
mean, you might have liked it. Like I said, just like anything else, there's a small cult following for certain things, but it didn't do well. I'll still watch this movie. Both Sonic movies did pretty well.
They
You know,
did.
'cause we had
Jim Carrey killed it as Dr. Robotnik, I thought.
Yeah, but just in general, the movie, the story was good. The graphics were pretty good, especially if you remember how they fixed Sonic. Remember how bad Sonic looked
He looked horrible.
before
Mm-hmm.
they had his eyes real tiny,
Just
and then it was like,
proportionate.
"Oh, you need to get a Sonic."
Knuckles was cool.
Yeah, Knuckles was
Knuckles
cool.
was very cool.
I think that they're starting to get some of these movies that they're remaking off old video games or old cartoons. They're starting to do better. You remember in the back around 2010, they started doing some of these with the Smurfs,
That was horrible.
Yogi Bear.
Katy Perry as
Did they make a Yogi Bear?
the Dark
yeah,
Field
Dan
movie.
Aykroyd was
Yeah.
Yogi Berra.
Oh, never saw it.
Yeah. It was some of those movies were pretty bad, but both Sonic movies were pretty good. I have high hopes for the Mario Brothers movie. But it's not. It doesn't look like a crossover. Like it's not live action with CGI. It's just all CGI.
I don't like
so-
the crossover. I don't think they work.
The crossover can work to an
You don't think
extent. And
Sonic
then,
works?
so,
I'm gonna be honest. I've never seen Sonic. I've just heard people say it. Of the movies
Never
that I
Sonic?
have seen with the crossover, I didn't like.
Some-
Smurfs was horrible.
sometimes with the crossover, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Like, and that's what I like about the Mario, because it's all just one. It's all just one section. That's what got me intrigued when it came more to it. I think it works about better that way. And speaking, you said because of Mario, how come we haven't got a Zelda movie yet?
They
I'm
were
thinking
working
that-
on that. On Netflix.
I think it's a Netflix series.
No, they had to scrap it. They scrapped
Oh,
it.
really?
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that
We
because I was
did-
excited.
I
It
was
was-
saying we haven't got a Zelda movie. What was another popular?
It was
video
supposed to
game?
come out last year, but they scrapped it. I mean, they're still putting out banger video games with Breath of the Wild 2 getting ready to come out. So, I mean, you don't really need it.
I mean, all these video. I mean, it's not just. I mean, Mortal Kombat got a movie. Street Fighter got a movie.
Mortal Kombat did well.
The first one, yeah, like the one that came out in in the mid
Wait a
'90s.
minute, no, the recent one on HBO Max.
That was good. It was good, but I like
great.
between the two, I like the older one better. The first one, not that second.
That was
The
more
first
about the
one,
characters, where this one was about
Annihilation was
story.
terrible.
Annihilation was terrible, but yeah, I like the first one. Now, Street Fighter, I mean, dumb fun. It was okay.
I loved Raw Julie. I loved him as General Bison. I loved that. I loved him as General Bison. I actually thought
The acting in that was terrible.
Well, it's Van Damme. You're not going to get a real good acting job with him. All it is just a bunch of fighting.
He is pretty hot, or he was pretty hot.
Jesus Christ.
Speaking of bad movies,
Look,
if anybody's deciding to go see Halloween Ends, don't.
I saw it last night. I regret it.
Ashley is
I
fucking
regretted it.
pissed.
I
And
regretted it.
they're dogging the fuck out of this movie.
I have not
Basically,
seen one positive review
Yeah.
with this new Halloween.
I'm not gonna say anything, but just, I mean, don't waste your time.
I'll go as Rocket. It's probably the worst movie I've seen in the theater this year, and I go to the movies a lot. It's probably the worst so far.
That's why you get HBO Max, so you don't have to pay money to go to the theater.
I'm old school when it comes to it. If I want to go see a brand new movie, I go to the theater.
But then you waste money on a terrible movie.
That's the nature of the beast.
You probably went and saw Super Mario Brothers back in the 90s.
No, I did not. I did not see that. Nope. I did not see that when it first came out. I had no interest in it.
So to kind of round things out and kind of finish this out, the baseball playoffs are getting pretty interesting. My Philadelphia. Well, I'll start off there and then we'll move on. My Philadelphia Phillies.
Just real quick, Tim, just to give you a heads up, since we
hold
brought
on,
up
Phillies.
Philadelphia, since we brought up that baseball real quick.
Hold on, we'll get to that. Phillies first. They won.
Yeah. Philadelphia Phillies knocked off their rival, the Atlanta Braves. 8-3 today. The Phillies, I don't know, they're looking pretty hot. I've been following them all year, and they've barely stayed afloat and just barely squeaked into the playoffs. They just beat out the Brewers, but look good against the Cardinals. Have looked great against the Braves.
Yeah. Somebody,
Padres or Dodgers.
One of the announcers said in June the Phillies were 22-29 at one point.
Yeah, they were below 500 at one point.
They were losing those close games. At
Bryce
the end.
Harper was.
They
were calling
fired
Bryce Harper
Joe
a bitch.
Girardi at the beginning, back in like early June, late May. They fired They haven't had a manager. The manager is some Thompson dude. He's like an assistant manager that they've had all year.
Huh. Well, that's
But they
the only.
paid some. Yeah, they made a couple good pickups.
Yeah.
But nobody big. I mean, they got Brandon Marsh, who came from the Angels.
Yeah.
I think.
Bryce Harper's still a diva. I'm sorry.
But Bryce Harper,
but he plays good.
Great. And he was out for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And they still stayed competitive.
And pitching's been solid, especially
Pitching
towards the end.
hasn't been bad. So
there's nothing else to talk about.
At this point right now, anybody but the fucking Astros. By the way,
or the Yankees. Fuck the Yankees.
No, fuck the Astros.
I'm looking at it right now. Are you talking about the Astros Mariners?
Yeah, that game. It's
bottom
the
of the 17th
bottom
right
of the
now.
17th right now.
Yeah, so Phillies are the only one to talk about.
And the Yankees are up 5-3 against Cleveland in the middle of the seventh.
That'll change.
The longest playoff one is 18. So
18 innings.
18's the record.
Who was that?
And this is an elimination game. I mean, Mariners are not going down without a fight. Here's the thing: even if they lose and get swept, you got to give them credit for sticking with. I mean, Astros are a damn good team.
They got a man on second right now.
Well, that's every extra inning games. There's always a man.
I'll say the one boy just stole second.
So quite frankly, the idea of putting, unless they're not doing, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe in the playoffs they're not putting the man on second, and he just happens to be there. But in regular season, extra innings, there's always a man put on second to start the inning. For me, it's not the fact that it's even just the bottom of the 17th. The score is still 0-0. I've never seen that before.
No.
That's crazy.
That game you were talking about, McDermott, the 18-inning win, National League Division Series. Now, Tim, this might, make you confused a little bit. National League Division Series is the longest playoff game, 18 innings. Houston beat Atlanta.
Houston used to be in the NL.
Yeah, and Milwaukee was in American.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, honestly, I'm more... Danny, I got you to thank. I've told you this before. I've got you to thank for the whole baseball thing because I was so dead set against.
Now I'm regretting it because I don't.
Why? Because
I'm
I don't
tired
root
of
for
hearing
the
about
Orioles
the
now.
fucking Yankees.
Sorry, but at least I got you to thank for getting me back into baseball.
Well, who were you gonna thank for making you a bandwagon?
Excuse. When I said when I was gonna get back into baseball, the team I said I'm not rooting for the O's. I'm not. Honestly, you want to know? You want to know the other team I was really considering rooting for? If
it's got to be somebody from Philadelphia, probably.
No. Fuck off with Philly. Fuck off with Philly. You don't give Tim shit because he's a Phillies fan, and he's right out of the.
He played for the Phillies.
That's what I played for in Dapper Dan. That's the same reason.
Who was the other team?
The other team I was going to root for, honestly, Dodgers.
God, man, he is a bandwagon like a motherfucker.
What? So what? And then I decided, I'm like,
he said, so what? He is not denying that shit.
All right, well, I think that's going to do it for us for this lovely Saturday evening.
All right, YouTube.
For fuck's sake.
We love you, and we'll see you next week. Hey, make sure you watch us next week. We got a special live episode coming next Tuesday, so don't miss out.
Good night, Buffalo.
See you.